Hey, g'day, Stu from UAVFutures. Welcome to Happy Flying, our weekly FPV live stream where we talk all things drone, everything FPV related. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go through, do a few little audio checks, and then I'm pretty excited because we have some really cool drone stuff to talk about this week. So mic check, mic check, mic check. Hopefully this is working. And if you hear some noises in the background, well, that's this machine in the background. My wife asked me if I could put the bread maker on, and maybe I forgot about it. I was like, oh, I better do that right now. So that might be buzzing away there in the background. But welcome to our weekly live stream. This is where we meet up every single week. It is the best part of my working week. It is Monday morning for me, and I love to kick off like the start of my working week like this. It might be the weekend for you. Let me know where you are around the world, but let's do it. Let's talk about some of the things that are going to be coming up in the stream. I can see a couple of amazing people here in the chat as well. Johnny DRC, Handy Racer, a couple of legends here week in, week out. And if you're thinking about becoming part of this UAVFutures family, there is a little like members only join button down there below as well. That does help the channel. But what do we have coming up today? Because we're going to talk a little bit about mental health. That's like a big thing that I believe in, something I'm really passionate about, as well as drones. So we always talk about that. But the drone stuff that is coming up today, we're going to be looking at the new Caddx Walksnail GTV2, which is, you might have seen on the thumbnail of this video. It's looking pretty impressive. I really like it. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Caddx. We've got the Caddx Ascent VTX is finally, I think it's up for like pre-sale. It is $39 for a camera, a VTX, which is absolutely wild. We have a couple of questions on like what to get, what not to get when it comes to getting your first drone, because I've been answering some questions a little bit and we don't want people to get caught out or like burnt. You don't want to buy two incompatible things. So we're going to be talking about that. The TBS, I've seen some cool things where people are building like a dual fuselage mojito. I'm going to talk about that as well. Some waterproofing and generally just answering your questions. I do want to give a shout out. Thank you very much, Shoot FPV, saying good morning, Stu. I hope everyone else is having a great wrap up from the weekend. Thank you very much there for that super chat, my friend. It does make a difference. And you guys are the greatest support to this channel. You let me keep spreading this message of FPV through and improving people's lives through these amazing little flying robots. We're also going to talk about actually some videos, why there wasn't any videos on the channel last week. And I guess the long story of that is I've been doing some filming, but I have these cool things to show, but thanks to NDAs, I can't do that. So yeah, it should be some cool videos dropping soon that I've been working on as well. Somewhere E and you see is saying you legend 90%. Every single person here is like an absolute legend. So thank you so much for tuning in. And before we kick it off, I have a question to ask. Like, what was the last thing that you flew? How long ago did you go and actually fly an FPV drone? Because I feel like that's something we can also get a little bit caught out with. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my microphone up. Just here that we don't always get some chances to fly, or maybe Mother Nature's not playing nicely and it's been a couple of days, and then when you finally get that day off, well, it's raining. So anyway, we've been having a few storms where I am as well. Okay, let's do it. So the first topic that we always start with, and this is the most important part of the entire live stream, and I know we are going to talk about drones, but I say this week in, week out, because it's true. And it really is for that person who knows who I'm speaking to. Is I would just like to let this individual know that they are cared about. They are valued. I'm really grateful that they're here, and I'm really proud of them. And I understand sometimes that things can be tough, and I'm talking specifically about mental health. And in the past, I know exactly what it's like. I've had some really bad days. Actually, it was probably it felt like years, but many years ago when my second daughter was born. And thankfully, I'm in such a better place now. And I haven't felt depressed in actually years. I'm really blessed to be able to say that and be on the other side of that. But I have never forgotten what it was like. And that is why I take the time out of this stream to just talk about it, to let people know that it is okay. Sorry, the bread maker's kicking off in the background if that's coming through. To let people know that it is okay to not be okay, and it is not weak to speak. And I don't want you to feel alone or isolated. And I know sometimes when you might be struggling with anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, I know how isolating and alone you can feel. And I am just taking the time of this drone stream to send that message to that person to say, hey, you are not alone. You are seen, you are heard, and you truly are cared about by this random guy in Australia. This is why I'm doing that, just to say that you are cared about. And do you know who that person is? It's you. It is you. You might have thought I was talking about someone else, but I was talking about you. If these words are hitting your little ears and that signal's going to your brain and you think, no, it doesn't mean me, I do. I am truly thankful for you being here and I do care about you. So, yeah, you know who you are because it's you. It's you. I care about you. So I'm sure there's maybe some people around the world, just if you feel that little smile creeping across your face, you're like, oh, that silly Australian, he is talking about me, because I do care about you. All right. Let's catch up on the chat, and then we're going to jump straight in and talk about the Gt2 system. So this is what a lot of Avatar, like Walksnail Avatar people are very, very excited for. I don't understand what Brandon Bean says. You need to claim a YouTube handle now. They're moving away from profile names for some reason. I don't know why they don't like spaces anymore. I'm not too sure what you mean. If you're answering that to me, we got Chef. Remember, this is Men's Mental Awareness Month here in the States. Yeah, absolutely. So we have, what is pretty cool is driving around on all our buses in the suburb, or I guess the city, whatever you want to call it, town that I live in. They do like Movember thing. I don't know if that's like a worldwide thing, but you basically try to grow a mustache for to just raise awareness of mental health. It can be one way to do that. And they have these big mustaches on all the buses that are driving around, which is pretty cool. My kids really like seeing it as well, especially my 5-year-old. She really laughs when they're driving past. Okay. Let's see. You need to choose a version that hasn't been claimed yet, like a number or something. I don't know what we're doing when it in regards to that. That was to me, Stu. All right, John, that's me talking to Johnny DRC. Let's kick it off. The first topic, the first actual drone topic, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is the videos have started to drop of the new Caddx Walksnail GT2. So this system is looking pretty special, and I think this comes at a really important time when a lot of people in the Caddx world have been wondering what's going to happen to my system. I've already invested in the Avatar, and maybe I've got some Moonlight cameras. What does this mean with the new Ascent system dropping? How is it going to affect the system that I currently fly? And straight up, let's have a look at some pictures over here. So this is on the Walksnail Facebook page, and I'll see if I can get this on the screen. This was the first one. So we have this right here. How do I get rid of these comments? Can I hide these comments? I don't really use Facebook that often. Okay, let's jump over here. Alrighty. So this one was posted. It looks like a whole bunch of the GT2s right here. Interestingly, some things we can notice. Can this go full screen? There we go. We've still got MMCX connectors. Now, something that I noticed straight away about this is I'm not sure if I'm a fan of, I am a fan of the big fan that they've got on the top to keep it cool. I think that's great. But if we're plugging these in, I think I would almost prefer the antennas to continue to come out horizontally, because at the moment they're going to be sticking up, just straight up the back. And I feel like you're going to have to bend those almost at a 90-degree angle anyway, or a right angle, to move those across and then spit them out the back of the frame or wherever your antenna placement's going to be on your drone. So that's something that I would probably like to change if these just went straight across. I mean, there's different pros and cons of these connectors. I don't hate them. Some people worry about them getting snapped off and stuck inside there, but that would probably alleviate that. I think they're also fairly robust in terms of they have a better hold than a UHFL connector. But yeah, this was the first picture, and let me show you. let's see, close here. And then I'm going to, I got a message about this one actually. Let's see. This one did make me, well, why can't I see this group? Okay, here it is. How do I open this one? This sounds so loud. Let me know if this is coming through as well. If I unmute this. This one is from Sean. This looks like one of the testers. And can you hear this? Like, this fan is going crazy in here. So, oh, if I turn my desktop audio on, this is like the normal volume. So that fan, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. That's freaking me out just a little bit there. So yeah, that's it in action in a quad. MMCX makes good sense for the higher power of the GT2. Yeah, I don't hate that connector. I just wish that it came out horizontally out the back. And then check this out. We actually have a flight test here, and I found this also on the, where have we gone? On their Facebook group. Someone has posted a flight. We've got this one. So this is talking about some long range, and we're at 35 kilometers out. Let's see. So this looks, you know, I don't know who needs to fly 35 kilometers. I definitely don't need to do that. And this is probably one area where Walksnail has been doing really, the Avatar system has been going really well, is when it comes to long range. And I guess like it's going to go significantly further than DJI, but it's also not going to, there's some areas where it lacks a little bit as well. So a really cool place to fly. And maybe it gives you a bit of an overview of what you can sort of expect. Now, remember, you're watching a video that's on Facebook that I'm watching down on my computer that is then being re-uploaded to YouTube and streamed to you. So it's hard to talk about the detail, but we can still look at the bit rate and everything down here as well. So yeah, we're 35 Ks from home, getting a pretty solid bit rate, but this is really high up in the air. This is like best case situation when it comes to RF interference and penetration. You don't need to worry about any of that stuff. But I thought this was like a nice little test. And then let me show you this. This is probably one that I did really like. I'm just going to mute it, and I'll have to put this in the chat later. That's the V2, not the G2. Okay, this video is not the GT2. Look at the description, which was, okay, am I getting confused here? Have I just been reading about the complete wrong information? Let me read here. Walksnail V2. Well, what is the V2? Okay, what is the V2 VTX of? If what is the version 1? Does that mean like the Moonlight? If I just, GT2 is over 50 kilometers. All right, now I'm getting confused with the naming. Let's have a look here. The Avatar GTV2. Is that better? Is this what we're talking about? The GTV2? Can somebody in the chat please help me know, because now I'm really confused. What is the difference between the GT2 and the GTV2? All right, now we do have this one. Now this one says the Walksnail Avatar GTV2. So, okay, not the GT2, GTV2. I want to play this one for you. I do have it muted. Someone's saying, and I thought DJI was bad with names. Yeah. All right. I guess like an updated version of the G2, rather than calling it the GT2, maybe similar to how they didn't want to do what hdzero did with their goggles, which was hdzero goggles and then hdzero goggles 2, which are basically the same as 1, calling it V2. All right, now this is a really cool video here. I want to note a couple of things before I show you what's happening though. Notice just how many antennas we've got on our head. That is important because you're going to have like the best reception, best penetration. This is kind of like best case scenario for trying to get the best results when you're testing some penetration. But we're going to go for a flight right here and check this out. If I turn this down. And some important things to note, we have our bit rate. Why can't we see our bit rate? Do I need to, maybe I can adjust this on the fly. Here we go. There we go. So look, I'm going to say ignore this person's GPS in the top left. And I'm unfortunately sitting over the publisher's face as he's speaking. This is not my video. So I just want to talk about some things that we can see in here. Someone's saying they're not the same goggles as on my goggles L. Okay, so this is the Gt2, which my mistake if I said Gt2 before. But what I want to just very quickly point out, I'm going to pause it here. Here is the car over here. So we're going to go between these buildings over here. And that bread maker's going absolutely crazy in the background. And let's look at the bit rate down there. So it's at 13, 14 megabits just here. And then we're going to go through a second building. And I thought this is just someone flying around, but it still does give a pretty good indication. Watch the bit rate. So at 25, down to 18, down to 7. So that's going through 2 buildings at a minimum, 4 walls, and they're probably like they're brick as well. And I don't think, from what I can see, we're losing too much detail. It's still perfectly flyable. Then we just go out for a little bit further and fly around. But I kind of like that. Now, it'd be really interesting what this is like versus the original G2. But it does give you a little bit of confidence when you're flying around, because in the past, DJI O4s have been really good at signal penetration and being able to get through a flyable picture. And then look, they're at 7 megabits just here. That's totally fine. I think, in my opinion, for most pilots, this is going to do them well. Now, remember, we do have I'm really in the way here. So how can I hide myself so you guys can see? But remember, we've got those 4 antennas that are on this gentleman's head. Big patch antennas as well. So we're trying to get the best signal possible. And at the moment, we're only about 300 meters away. I don't know what that is in freedom units. 1,000 feet, maybe 900 feet or so. Again, watching the bit rate. So we're down a little bit. We've probably got a few buildings. So we've got to 2 there, but that's 1, 2, 1.5, whatever that shed is. I think this looks great. So this is really, really good news. If you are a Walksnail Avatar pilot, and you have been worried of what the Ascent system is going to mean for the future of the hobby and for the ecosystem that you have, this is really, really good. I do really like this too. Look at the difference when it comes through here. I guess the exposure. I thought it handled this pretty well. Really, really dark. How can I pause this? Is this pause? Yeah, this okay. It's really, really dark inside. It's doing a great job of like highlighting all the details that we can see outside, and then as we go through, watch this transition. I thought this was pretty cool. Really dark, and then I felt like it adjusted to this new environment coming from outside to this environment pretty well. I'd be worried about losing my drone here though. And I think it's handling the, I guess the dynamic range fairly well. And the bit rate still totally fine, 25 megabits. Now it's probably getting perfect signal through this window right here as we head back to the car, which is, I think, over here. But yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty exciting time and something that is, I think, a little glint of hope as well for those people who were worried if their Walksnail Avatar systems were going to become redundant because of the Ascent system, is any Ascent improvements where they think they discover a new way of doing something, and if it's easy to implement, that means we can probably bring that over to the Avatar Walksnail system as well. Brandon's saying looks good. I mean, who is filming this? I want to follow him. It is. I'm going to put it in the show notes after this down below, but actually, I'm going to post the video right now in chat. There you go. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that this is adequate? Like, would you be putting this on your craft? Now, remember, it's a little bit heavier. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not going to be for every craft as well. But if you've got the option to go do this, and like we saw, we have 35 kilometers on that other one, and other people were saying they can go up to 50 as well. So yeah, really just a cool little piece of tech that I'm excited to see in our hobby. And this is probably coming at a time when, if you're in the USA as well, and you want to get like the closest thing to DJI, if DJI evaporates from the market, which is sort of due in a little bit over a month, you still have some options. I would fly this every day. Like, there is nothing wrong with this sort of video. And if we're actually even talking about the clarity as well, so I do have it set on 4K. It's great. It's great. I have no issues. Now, some people don't like the way that the Avatar system handles like some smearing of some greens and grasses, but as far as I can tell, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't think you'd really have anything to complain about. However, I have flown since the very early days of analog, when we used to worry about the amount of TVL lines and things as well. So anyway, this video, I've put that in the chat as well. So if you want to go check that out, of course, after this live stream. But yeah, I can close that one down. But yeah, let me know. Do you think that that's good for Walksnail users? What do you think about like the Avatar system? And what do you think about the Ascent system now? Because I'm kind of positive and hopeful as well. I just hope that Caddx doesn't fumble the ball and like make some stupid mistakes, and they let their craft and VTXs do the work, and they don't listen to their marketing too much. So I don't really trust the Caddx marketing. I'm excited to see other people putting these videos out of testing it there. The old GT did 55 kilometers already with stock antennas. That's coming from Ian FPV. Brandon is saying the goggles antennas is a bit over the top for me though. I agree. That is something that I don't really want to do. If I'm just going out for a casual fly, I don't want to have to put those giant antennas on my goggles every time, because I'm an incredibly lazy person. I just want to be able, I do like that about my DJI goggles, where I can just flick the antennas up, or even on like the goggles L, they're just, you can't break them. They're ready to rock and roll. Is it a different goggle for this system? So that is, let me jump over here and using, so what we're flying around with, if I go to FPV, if you go to DIY FPV, and that's these goggles right here. So the Walksnail Avatar X. Now, they're about $500. I know DIY FPV says $25 because that's the multiple variations. That's just the way that this store has. So that's if you were looking at the patch antenna to put on the top. But yeah, $450 for the base goggle from Caddx itself. And then the rest are like $500. So yeah, overall, I've flown this goggle. It was the goggle I flew the most in 2024. And then in 2025, I was flying a lot of the Goggles 3 from DJI. But yeah, man, that bread maker in the background is absolutely driving me crazy. I am never going to turn the bread maker on again. So all I can hear is this zzz constantly. All right. Now we have a question here. This one is from Livering. I don't know how to Livering Frederick Maryland 8950. Is it smart to invest in the Avatar goggles right now with the new Ascent products right around the corner? Oh, good, the bread maker stopped. I would be looking at what do you want to get out of FPV? This is the first question that you need to ask yourself. It's not about is it smart to buy a system. It is smart to buy the system that works for you. Is it the smart choice? That depends on what you want to get out of the hobby. There is no point investing in, say, the new Ascent product if you are into racing, because that is never going to, the latency, it's never going to be adopted by the racing community. Then it's like, oh, let's go hdzero. It depends what you want to get out of it. Now, if you want to get, and you're in the States, the closest thing to like nice visuals when you are flying around, that would be, yeah, these goggles right here. I don't think that there's going to be a substitute for a long time. These aren't going to be banned. You're still going to be able to buy them. Like if we look at the stock levels as well, there's still a few places. Is there any US? This is quite interesting. Unless someone has been buying a lot, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Okay, we've still got them in Pyro Drone, so that's a US store. Let's double check this is in stock here. Okay, so this is a USA store, but that's the first time when I've seen maybe race day quads. And is Get FPV in here still? Let's Get FPV. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So if you can get them in the States, which I don't see them disappearing, I would be investing in the Avatar system, the Walksnail Avatar system, if I really cared about like the visuals and trying to get as close as I could to replicate DJI. If I was going to buy, and that's talking about the DJI 04. Now, if I am in the rest of the world, I would probably buy DJI. I think it's a better product with the 04 versus these goggles. And I've flown all sorts of goggles. I have no allegiance to one way or the other. The advantage of this one, it does have a lot of like cameras and VTXs that can go with it. And am I worried about it becoming obsolete? No, because the Caddx, which is here somewhere, this which I'm going to talk about, and look at this crazy price. I'm going to be talking about this specifically in a second. The Caddx Ascent VTX is nowhere near, Ascent system is nowhere near as good as the actual Avatar system. This is a cheap budget, and look at this price, budget system. Do not expect it to be doing the same thing. A good analogy would be like you can be buying, if you want to play really high-end video games, like maybe you want to run Cyberpunk on like 4K, you're going to have to go and invest in a pretty beefy system. Don't expect the same results if then you want to play that same game, but you put it on like a budget school laptop that somebody has. They're going to be giving you a similar FPV experience in terms of like you're still going to experience FPV. You're still going to play that video game, but one is much more high end and more powerful than the other, but it costs a lot more. And if your question is what's going to happen to the Walksnail Avatar system, the high end expensive one, is that going to be discontinued? I don't believe so. I think especially when they're releasing new products that you can see, it just doesn't make sense. And because they also have so many users, it's all about the money, right? So there's already so many users that have Walksnail Avatar goggles, whether that be the goggles L, whether that be the goggles X. If you have those goggles, those people are going to be buying your VTXs. It makes no sense for the thousands upon thousands of pilots that have those around the world to be like, oh, we don't want to deal with that market anymore. Think of it like if you were Xbox and you'd sold, all your consoles around the world, and someone says, should we make a new console? Let's not sell anything to all those other people who are going to buy a product. It just wouldn't make sense. There is a market there, so I don't see them disappearing now. The only thing is if they don't have control over making that. So maybe the factory where they get some chips from, or they get their parts from, says, oh, we're not going to sell to you, or their contract's up, or they're changing something, or they can no longer make those. But I don't think that would be Caddx's decision. That wouldn't be my decision. If I had a whole bunch of, here is a perfect example. This channel here is if I wanted, if I was running this purely as a business, let's not talk about helping people in the passion. Why would it make sense for me to give up everything that I've done here and abandon the subscribers? You amazing people, like if you are a patron or if you are a member here on YouTube, shout out if you would like to join right now. That'll be pretty amazing. But why would I just abandon this channel and then go and start a brand new FPV channel? It doesn't make any business sense to do that. All right. Happy Flyer RC says in the US we can still buy new drone air units from third-party sellers like PyroDrone, Get FPV, and Race Day Quad. I bet you that's not the pro version though. Let's have a look here. That would be pretty cool if it is. And then we're going to talk about the Caddx Ascent in just a little bit. The $35 VTX, and is that the Ender analog? Because that is absolutely crazy. All right, let's have a look here. DJI 04. I would please give me the Pro. Yeah, this is the one that people are really wanting, and that's kind of crazy that around the world this is out of stock. And this is where you have to ask yourself now, if I am flying DJI, is DJI going to be out of stock around the world? Are they going to continue? So I'm not too sure. Okay, yes. All right, thank you very much, first person. He has just joined and become a member, so thank you very much there, brother. And also to a shout out for just being around the channel for a long time. Like I've seen you here for, I don't know how long you've been a subscriber here, but years. So thank you very much. Send UAVFutures 1 gift membership. I actually don't just, what does that mean? I've never had that before. What does that? Thank you. Thanks, brother. Amazing. So everyone's saying let's share some love in the chat as well. I wonder if I could do like some little, I can actually do some little fireworks or some love hearts or something. So cheers. All right, we got some, you get some cool emojis there as well, and you do have some members only videos you can go and watch. I'm gonna have to figure out what that gift membership means. I have no idea. If someone could let me know. That someone's saying I got the gift. That's from Brandon. Okay. All right. Let's see. No, you've been here since the beginning. So was Cardwell, but I watch you religiously. That's from Anthony as well. Thank you very much, guys. YouTube or Patreon, which is better for you? Here is my, to be honest, I would say Patreon probably takes less of a cut, but it is also so much easier for me to manage the YouTube side of things, and it lets me do a few more things. So I think it's really difficult to, that's why I just leave it out there and people can join whichever one they want. Financially, Patreon takes less of a cut, so that works better for me. But I'm not going to, it's whatever anybody, I'm not going to ask people to go and make another account as well if they don't want to do that. And I shouldn't be telling, they can just join whichever way they like. I am grateful for every single piece of support and also every single person who is just here watching. I want to say thank you. I do FPV because I love this hobby. This is a bit of a tangent now, but with your support, we're able to do things like this. So this website here, like DIY FPV, to be able to chat to people, share your things, search the catalog, like find exactly what you want and find out where it's in stock and how much it's going to be, compare it to your local currencies. Then you could go, we've got a second-hand place. We have the map, so you can jump on here and find out if a pilot is close to you. So I don't know, maybe you've never been flying in Indonesia before, but there actually is some pilots around there. So yeah, really, really cool to be able to have this for the community, and that is because of your support. So if you joined up today, or if you are a member or a patron, however you support the channel, this is because of you, and this is because I love this hobby. That's purely what this is. And this builder, I hope you are ready. It's going to be so special. So this has been, we are working feverishly on this, and I don't want to announce too much, but man, 2025, which is this year, is going to be very, very exciting. So yeah, stay tuned for that. All right. I'll stick with Patreon. That's from Paul. Yeah, I appreciate your support there, Jeff, as well. Thank you. Now, I got sidetracked thanks to your amazing generosity, guys. Let's talk about this, which is this right here. This is the Walksnail Ascent Lite kit. Now, this is a pre-sale. I've heard people saying, is this going to be the end of analog? And analog will always have a special place, but look at this. Look at this price. Normally in the past, digital has been significantly more expensive. This is a camera, a VTX, and your antenna. This is everything for $35, and you are getting digital FPV. Now, is it the best FPV around? No, absolutely not. This is a budget system, but that price is absolutely insane. And you really have to ask yourself, if you are coming in today and you want to fly around FPV and you don't want to drop tons and tons of cash, it is very, very difficult to argue with. Handy Racer as well. He's sending through some love. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a little love. There's a lot of support in the chat. Thank you very much for your support. It's because of you guys we can do this. This is analog prices. It is cheaper than analog even. That's what Brandon is saying as well. Absolutely. And this is before analog was never this cheap when it started either. Like a VTX can cost more than this entire digital system. Now, so you're saying, oh, Stuart, but that's the Ascent system. You're going to need to get your goggles or your receiver unit, whatever that's going to come out and look like. You are right. It is a brand new system. It is not compatible with anything else. Check this out, though. So, for that price, let's put this on the screen. This is what you can expect. Now, you're going to have latency. It's not going to be perfect. I want you to remember that this is $35 for your VTX and camera. And is this good enough for the price? This is not made to beat DJI. This is not made to beat hdzero on price. This is not made on latency. This is not made to beat even the Walksnail Avatar system. This is made so we can experience FPV. Now, right here, we're about to lose it. I've got an early version, and this is probably not indicative of what you can expect. So I'm getting some latency. The versions don't go black and white anymore, and definitely don't fly around behind yourself. Make sure you're orientating. You're not going to get the penetration. But for everyday pilots, and you notice we do have some smearing on the ground until the bit rate comes back. Notice I'm facing completely away from myself, which means my patch antennas are ready for reception. But yeah, out here, the drone flies like rubbish as well. But specifically talking about a $35 video system, what do you think? I think this is going to do a lot of things for FPV. This pricing is incredibly aggressive. And I mean, I'm not saying that this system doesn't have its downfalls. Yes, we're talking about latency. Yes, the picture quality isn't as good, but it's $35. This is what is the most important part about this whole discussion. We have a $36 camera VTX antenna option. That is absolutely unheard of. Even in analog prices, this is cheaper than an analog system, and there is no way that an analog system for $36 is not going to look anywhere near as good as this. It's probably even a great system for whoops. That's the problem is it's going to be a little bit heavier, so it's not an all-in-one. So your whoop would probably be a little bit heavier. So like a 2S craft, this is going to be amazing. Whoops, I still think, are the one situation where every single gram matters that you're going to need. I know it says it only weighs 6 grams, but I don't think it's suited for whoops. This is suited for probably things like the Lightning V2, all the way up. You could even have a larger craft with this. I think that price is amazing. Now, someone says, well, it goes black and white sometimes. No, that is my specific version. I have a very early version with a different firmware than everybody else. And I haven't had any information on Caddx or updates or anything like that. So I don't know what what this will have when it ships, but there is very few videos out there where it does go black and white. So I don't know what's going on with my version or with the firmware and what they've changed, but yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. Range on Ascent Lite on a fixed wing has been taken out to 7 kilometers with proof. This is with Shannon. Thank you very much. And I hear a whisper that it's gone a lot further on a whip antennas. Yeah, that's wild. For me, the part where what I need this system to do and the biggest limitations for me, it's actually not even like the video is completely usable in terms of like what it looks like. I don't even mind the smearing. The part that I find tricky, and maybe this can change with firmware updates in the future once we actually get our hands on this and we can flash different versions on there, is the latency. As you start to lose that bit rate, you are going to get a lot of latency that is going to be coming across. So it feels a little bit tricky to fly, almost like you're flying a little bit through jelly. And then when it's closer, it feels good again. So it's varying. It makes it a little bit difficult to, if you're going to be doing some crazy freestyle or I guess building a higher end craft, this isn't going to be for you. And the other one, it has to be that penetration. So how well does that signal not drop out? And maybe can we change that when it comes to antennas as well? So I know when I was flying behind myself, I was getting like the bit rate was really, really dropping down with some different antennas. Is there a way to rectify that as well? So if I can fly around an everyday park flyer, like a 2S, like a Lightning V2 with this system here for that price, I think it's absolutely incredible. And I'm really excited for it for a hobby. And I know, look, Caddx is definitely have their issues with the community, and the hard part though, like to argue with this, and this is not made for probably 90% of the people watching this. This is a product that I think a lot of people are missing the point of. Is it's to give people an experience of FPV without breaking the bank. So the goggles are what, $150, and this like $185, and you are flying FPV. Wild. I know a lot of people who don't do FPV because they complain about the prices. This is the cheapest that it has ever been. And if you're a pilot who flies DJI Goggles 3 with 04 Pros and you're sort of gatekeeping and saying you have to do this, you can't have fun with this cheaper system, that's absolutely rubbish. I have flown the worst systems you can possibly imagine. I'm talking about old security cameras broken down with VTXs so big you have to literally tape them to your craft. I had an absolute blast doing that, and I would have loved a system like this. Am I going to be, would I probably, I've upgraded from that old system that I bought to what I fly today. Would I upgrade from this? Yes. But not everybody wants to be in this hobby forever. They just want to experience some of the hobby. And maybe a little analogy could be, if you were going to get into photography, yes, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on lenses and cameras, and the sky is the limit when it comes to photography pricing. But if you just want to get like a budget camera to go take some photos that aren't completely rubbish, sure, just get a $100 camera, go take some photos. It's going to be fine. So this is sort of doing that same sort of thing. Interestingly, both of those are talking about like a digital video. Or someone's saying, I remember flying through a GoPro. Yes, yeah, that's it. But what do you think? This is the important part. In the chat right now, please put down what you think about the Walksnail Ascent Lite kit for $35 for the camera, VTX, antenna. Do you think that this price makes it, like, what is the value for money there for everything that it does? Someone's saying a Kodak 10 camera on the back. That's from Johnny D. I see that might have been just to take photos. Nick saying, like in 2017, my first drone lost connection and flew away. Got to check those fail safes. Sometimes it's so nice just up there floating, just hanging around. Yeah, I agree, Anthony, and that's something that most FPV pilots will say that they did, is when you first get into FPV, you want to go up into the sky and have a look around and be like, wow, I can see everything. After you get used to FPV and you're flying all the time, you want to be as close as you can to the ground. It's just far more exciting. It's All Games says, a worthy competitor for a sub 250 build if you can handle the latency. I'm going to get one when I learn more about the VRX. Yeah, that's also a great point. You can have multiple systems. People do have multiple systems. And maybe you're going to be doing something where you're like, oh, I might not get this back. I'm going to just put in a cheaper system in there. What's the latency on the Ascent? It is variable. So it can feel fine up to like, I don't know, I can't even remember. Like, I think I had some at like 80 milliseconds when it was like 0.01 megabits or whatever coming back, which makes it really difficult. So when it's far away and you're not getting much signal back, the latencies feels like garbage. It feels fine when it's close. Well, I mean, it doesn't feel as good as the other systems, and it's definitely nowhere near hdzero, but hdzero is its own thing. That's their whole focus, is having low latency for races. Crazy Rooster says it's almost disposable at that price point. Great beginner system. You could destroy a couple learning, then upgrade to the Avatar system when you're ready and you need better quality footage. Yeah, I agree. This is probably too where if we get the VRX and maybe people get, I don't even know what. Okay, here's a question. If you are buying this, does it make sense, I'm talking new customers, to buy a goggle with a HDMI input and use the VRX? Because then you are already spending, use an external VRX, then you're already spending a lot of money to get a good goggle just to put the VRX for a bad system in. I don't think so. I think if you do this, you just buy Ascent goggles. I'd probably just buy this. If I'm going to buy the Ascent system and I'm a new pilot, I'm just buying Ascent goggles. If I want to upgrade to a new system in the future, I'm going to be doing that because I want a better looking, more robust, higher performance system. I'm not going to be using these goggles right here. So I'm going to buy a new set of goggles anyway. It makes no sense for a new user to buy something like these and then put on like if you're going to be buying this and then put the VRX on the front, you might as well just go into the Walksnail Avatar system anyway. The only reason you would get a VRX is because if you already have a set of goggles and then you want to put this on the front, maybe build some little cheap craft and fly those around. It's a tricky market for us people already flying. It is made for new pilots coming into the hobby, and that's when it's going to be interesting. Going to be crazy if hdzero got like something in the oven that could compete almost with Caddx. I mean, for us in the States, that would be pretty awesome. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I think if hdzero was able to improve the video, I would like hdzero a lot more for my personal flying. It's the latency actually isn't as important to me as visuals, which is why I like to fly around with DJI. Someone's saying I already have hdzero goggles. They are my analog goggles, so VRX would be perfect. Save space in my bag. Yeah, that makes sense. If you already have an expensive, that's another point. If you already have an expensive set of goggles and it's hdzero, then maybe the Ascent makes sense because you want to experience some different, better visuals without breaking the bank. So you don't want to jump completely over to going to the Walksnail Avatar system. The only problem is the latency difference between hdzero and these goggles is going to be felt so bad. It's going to feel terrible for a hdzero pilot. They are modular goggles planned as Caddx has stated. They are intended to have both Ascent and Avatar replaceable modules. The modules will be easily swapped in and out. Okay. I will see that. I will if we can upgrade and replace the modules, I will wait until that's happening. I don't want to buy into that just yet. I've been burnt by Caddx in the past with their upgradable goggles X. Someone's saying, how about a VRX for Avatar to put on a good old pair of Fat Sharks? Is that an option? Do you mean like the DJI? DJI does not have an external video receiver. Not a typical one anyway that we're used to. Someone, and I like what Shannon says here too, buy based on what's available in the market now, though. Yeah, that's it. Agreed. What is here right now? Don't buy on future promises. Okay, moving on, because that's all pretty exciting. I'm looking at the time. A little bit of a recap. If I don't think there's too many people that are like disputing this, that talking about DJI, the ban in the States. I don't think there's any new developments there. Somebody please let me know if I am wrong. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen to your gear? Well, if on the 23rd of December, if DJI isn't registered, they're going to be unable to import any new products coming in, and the FCC can also retroactively remove some certified products that are being sold in the States. So that means maybe you won't even be able to get the DJI like products that are already there. So the O4s and the goggles. It's even, I've heard people saying it's like cameras and things. I don't know how they're going to say that they missed it the first time, but now it's a national security threat this time. And then people have been asking what's going to happen to your gear. If you have your DJI gear, it is still going to work. After that date, even if it is illegal to import it into the country, it is still going to work. If it becomes non-FCC certified, the question is, will I be breaking the law when I fly? That will depend on what they say, and it's all about using those airwaves and those communication systems. So I don't know. My best advice for anybody who is in the States and flying DJI and is worried about that is just fly like around. Don't annoy people. Like just avoid people. Don't fly over public places and like buzzing property, and just, it's sort of like the rules of the old day where when I would go and fly FPV, before I had the farm to go and fly out, shout out to the farmer across the road, before I could fly there, I would go to the most secluded parks away from people just to rip my drone around and enjoy my analog craft going through the skies. And I have never had an issue. I think you could possibly have an issue if you are doing something stupid, dangerous, and it can even be like not taking into account the risk of sometimes accidents happen. Sometimes you will have a desync. Sometimes your craft will fall from wherever you might be over a road or something. Just don't do that. That's something. Don't you all break the law anyways when you fly, though? I know I do. That's from Brandon Beans. I'm not going to discuss any legalities. I'm talking general advice. Remember, I am not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. I'm just saying fly safe and don't annoy people. And just don't annoy people and don't do dumb things. And that's general advice for life. And you'll probably not have people hassling you. Happy Fly, I see currently no DJI bans, but there is a request to move the ban date to November 29th, but the FCC is talking of banning the current transmitters that already have FCC approval. Yeah, that's the scary part, because they've given themselves power to be able to do that. I'm sure there's an article here in Drone DJ. Ooh, no, this is what I'm looking at. If it escapes the US ban. Okay, so maybe it's just talking about it a little bit, but 29th of October. Okay, yeah, this is to retroactively ban DJI drones in the US. I've already done a video on this one though. But essentially, the new powers they gave themselves to go back and look at things like the DJI O4, DJI, any DJI gear, to be like, oh, you can no longer have that, which I do not understand. How can you say something is safe to use and then say, actually, this is not safe if that product hasn't changed in its criteria that it is meeting? I mean, you can say something's, you don't want it anymore and you can ban it, fine. But don't say that this product that does this specific thing and that's why it's allowed now actually doesn't do that thing. That's very easy to check and make sure that that's That's not the case. So if we're talking in terms of if it is banned for a specific reason of communication, which is not allowed in the US, you can't go back and say, oh, actually, no, it doesn't do that. Like someone is going to have to be held accountable. What a wild world, what a wild term to use for the US. Someone needs to be accountable on why either it passed the first time or why we're making it not passing this second time if the product hasn't changed. Anyway, Johnny DRC is saying it doesn't fly as mini anymore. It's a little bit boring. That's his DJI Mini. Other people saying we'll always fly. Yeah, absolutely. Just don't annoy people. We're still going to have an amazing time. Your product is still going to work. It is not going to be able to be shut down. In regards to updates, I don't know what's going to change there. Now, I'm going to answer that question next time. I'm looking at the time. I would just like to probably show you this. I thought this was pretty cool when we talk about waterproofing our drone. This is playing with fire. So this was over on Reddit. Look at this little drone right here. Oh no, just having a little bit of a splish splash. I was taking a bath. Everyone's really messing around here. It's almost like they want to lose their drone. This is some crazy waterproofing. I do not recommend doing this. And as I was watching this, I was thinking, man, he's going to lose that surely. So here we go, going underwater, and and we're out again. How long does this video go for? All right, I'm going to jump to the good part. This doesn't look shallow either. It's like a pretty big river. Where is it? Okay, here. Oh, when we get to this bit, oh, just messing around. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit too much. So, yes. You can waterproof your drone. That doesn't mean you should be dumping it in the river, because it's not. As soon as you lose that signal and you get a fail safe, you're not going to be able to spool your motors up to fly out of there. Yeah, just casually flying your drone into water. It's still a funny video. They said they're going to go get that back soon. All right, FPV fishing, yes. Okie dokie. Now, the last thing that is really important to talk about, and I'm sure that some of you might have guessed it because it's important to me, is you guys. I would just like to give a shout out to every single person that is here, that is watching this. This is the best part of my working week. I love to start my Mondays here. We are at the same place, same time every single week. We've been doing it for over a year. And the reason that I come back to this seat right here every Monday morning, it really is to connect with you. I am the same as you FPV pilots out there. I just love these flying little robots. They have changed my life in such a profound, fun way. And I truly do feel blessed to be able to share that with other people out there. And the support that you guys give back is incredible. All the kind messages, the emails, like the financial support, like the new members that we have here as well. Thank you so much for believing in what we do on UAV Futures. And this part at the start and end of my live streams is just a chance for me to really maybe connect with one person, that to let them know that they are cared about, valued, special. They are seen, they are heard, that this connection is real. Some of the best friends I've had in my life, I have met through FPV. And the other week when we spoke about Russ's passing, and I never met that, a vet from the US that I didn't know that I would have so much in common with. And he became such a dear friend to me, and I do miss him, and I think about him quite a lot. But that is just an example of the power that this has. So even though I haven't met you, even though we haven't hung out in person, I've still read your name and I've seen you here week in, week out, and I'm just letting you know that I do care about you. That this connection is real. You are seen, you are valued, you are cared about, and I'm proud of you. And sometimes it can be really easy to like help other people, but we don't always help ourselves. And this is maybe just a little reminder. If you can hear this and you would like, maybe just like, man, I would like to feel a little bit better with whatever you're going through, this is just a reminder that I do believe in you. And I know because I have been in those places, and that's why I'm grateful that I'm here now, being able to talk about it and just let people not feel alone in that journey. So who am I talking about? It's you. You know it's you. You are cared about. I'm serious. You truly are. You are an amazing individual. You can do it. I'm proud of you. Like, I'm getting pumped talking about this. You're watching this. Hey, Stuart, what are you talking about? You can't be possibly. I am. I am proud of you. You watching this right now, for everything that you have done. You are an amazing person. Thank you. You're making my day better just by being here. That's how awesome you are. All right. I'm out, guys. I will be here, same place, same place. Of course, I'm not moving, but the same time. I will see you all next week. I should have some videos finally. I know it's been a little while. I've made sure that they're actually got a couple of different products scattered around, all under NDAs. They should be out soon. I'm pumped for that. It's a really, really exciting product that I've wanted to show many times, that I've really been enjoying. Yeah. Someone, Happy Fly. We're not a bunch of individuals. We are Team FPV. Happy Fly. Thanks, Stu, for bringing FPV to the community together with these streams. We thank you. Other people saying we've been watching you for years and always enjoy the videos. It is my pleasure. And to you, Stu, you're making my day better. It is all round good vibes. I'm proud of you. And just remember that this is real. This connection is real, that you are not alone. You are seen and you are heard. Even if it doesn't feel like it, the reality is you are cared about. All right, guys, I'm out. I will see you soon. Go join DJI FPV if you haven't as well. Like, it is the website built for you with the support. If you are supporting this channel, watching this, go check out DIYFPV.com. It is the website that I built because I love this hobby, and that's my way to help people even when I'm not in front of the camera. All right.